just love it. So, we're in November, and November's theme is love, serve, and remember. And we talked about love the first week. Reverend Kathy was here last week. So today we're going to talk about serving. Love, serve, and remember. And you know, sometimes I think the word love, well, not love, that was last time. Serve. The word serve sometimes has a bad rap. I think, you know, when you hear the word serve, well, you hear it in terms that are just not positive, you know. It's just not in a positive light. Like, well, like people have to serve time, right? When they're convicted of a crime, you know. People have to do community service if they're convicted of a lesser crime. You know, people get served summons, right? I mean, you know, it's not a really great word sometimes. In tennis even, when one is serving, right? The object is serve the ball hard enough, deep enough, fast enough, and placed well enough that your opponent cannot return it. You know, serving the ball is not an attempt to put the ball into play. It's to keep the ball from being put into play. So, you know, it's not a positive word in a lot of respects, you know. And then there is the inevitable, boom, you've been served, you know. Like, where did that come from? The old dance competitions or things, you know, when you have bested someone in some kind of competition or, you know, competitive something, sport. You have been served means you've been crushed. You've been outplayed. So the word serve can be negative. It can sound negative. It can sound like something we have to do instead of something we get to do. It sounds more like serving as an obligation rather than a privilege. And so we have to let go of a lot of that. You know, that's just word associations. So we have to let go about a lot of the energy that we have around the word serve. So the first thing we need to do is just reframe it in our minds so that we don't go there. So that serve is a privilege rather than an obligation. Serve is something we get to do, not something we have to do. And the reason is we're all one, right? We talk about us all being one. We talk about the energy of God is the same energy that flows through me, flows through you, flows through all life everywhere. We talk about there only being one. So who are we serving, right? We have to be serving ourselves. We have to be serving that the greater good is also our good. I always go back to that core concept 1, and I talk about it frequently. Core concept 1 says, you know, God is all there is. But I wanted to actually read core concept 1 to you because I don't know how many of us know that. In the universal level, the thing itself, it says there is one cosmic reality, principle, and presence in the universe, God. All creation originates in this one source. God is all there is. That is the universal concept of core concept 1. God is all there is. And now on the human level, the way it works, each human being is a creation of God, made of the God substance, a unique, individualized incarnation of spirit. This incarnated spirit is my essence, and it is the essence of every human being. So when we say God is all there is, that's what we're saying. There's only one energy, right? Physicists say the same thing. There's only energy. There's only energy. We call it God or Buddha mind or Allah or, you know, whatever you want to call it, Christ consciousness. That energy is the same energy no matter where you are in the universe. It's just energy. So we call that God. We realize there is no other. There is no other. There is only energy, and it is outpicturing as you, and you, and you, and you, and all of us, and every animal, and every form, and every tree, everything in the manifest universe, every star, every planet. It's just energy, and we call that energy spirit. And we realize there is nothing else but that. There is nothing else but that. So when we serve, we are serving the divine, right? When we serve, we're serving the divine in form, in whatever form the divine is choosing to take in that moment. So it is actually the divine in me serving the divine in whatever it is that I'm serving. Mother Teresa said it another way. When asked why she did what she did, serving in the most diseased and poverty-ridden places in the world, she simply said, whenever I meet someone in need, it's really Jesus in his most distressing disguise. That is fabulous. That's what we're talking about. You know, it is just the divine in its most distressing disguise. That's all we're seeing. She was always serving her God. She was always serving God. And so we would say what? We see the divine in everything. We serve. We see the Christ consciousness in everything. You know, this is why we say namaste, right? The Hindus say namaste. That means the divine within me recognizes and greets the divine in you. We recognize that within us is spirit. It is simply spirit having an experience. It's simply spirit being a human for a little while and getting the experience of what that is. So when we serve others, really, aren't we serving ourselves? We're serving ourselves. We're recognizing the divine in form as other, but it's really not other. It's really divine in form, which is what we are. So one of the questions, I guess, that we need to ask ourselves is when we begin to awaken to this concept of service, that we serve ourselves. And sometimes that's an alien concept to a lot of us because we're really good at helping and we're really good at giving and we're really good at supporting others, but how well do we support ourselves in a lot of times? It's so much easier to give than to receive. I don't know why that is in this country, but it is. It's true, right? We're the first ones to rush in there and to help and assist, but how well do we serve ourselves? Because we have to start there. At some point, we have to fill ourselves. We have to recharge. We cannot pour anything out of an empty vessel, right? It's impossible. So we can't give something away that we don't have. So self-care, self-service first. We can't start running around helping and fixing and doing if we're on empty. So self-care has to happen somewhere in our day. So what kinds of things do you do to serve yourself first? What kinds of things do you do to refill? Because that is really important. Taking time to refill. Do the thing you desire. Do the things that refresh your soul. And don't do the things that drain you if you haven't been refilled. A lot of the things that we do out of love and out of service can be draining for us. And I'm not saying, okay, just don't do them. I'm just not going to do anything that doesn't make me happy. Well, no. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is don't do them when you're on empty. Practice self-care. Practice self-service. Refill, refresh, and then do those things that you can do to be of service in the world. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Yes, have your yes mean yes and your no mean no, and understand that no is a complete sentence. You don't have to think of reasons why, and you don't have to make excuses, and you don't have to come up with, all the reasons in the world why you can't do something. Just say, no, it doesn't work for me right now because I'm on empty. And I'm going to go refill. And then you're available. And then you're available to do the kinds of service in the world that you're called to do. So I know that sounds like just the opposite of service, but it really is an important piece of service that we sometimes forget, and that is that self-service. So when we practice self-care, when we take the time out in our own life, and we just put the music on, or we just go for a walk on the beach, or we do the things, or we take a mental health day, for God's sakes, we do the things that we can do in our lives to refresh and to refill, then we are all charged up and ready to go out and do the work. Ready to do the service, ready to change the world, or our little part of it, and we do it from a place of fullness. We do it from a place of energized and just ready to be that emissary of spirit that we are, So then we're all filled up and we're ready to go out there and we're ready to take on the world and do our job and be of service. And what is the consciousness we bring with us? Because that's another big part of it, along with being filled ourselves and energized and have been in good self-care, then there is the other piece of it. There's the consciousness piece of it. What is the consciousness in which we are serving? How do we approach others in service? Because how we serve, the consciousness in which we serve, makes a big difference also. Lao Tzu wrote this. He said, "The sage never tries to store things up. The more he does for others, the more he has. The more he gives to others, the greater the abundance." There is the consciousness there that we are in a relationship. We're in that cycle. We're in that balance of giving and receiving. So it's important that we go into service with the consciousness of giving and receiving, with the balance. Are we looking at the poor, in need, these poor unfortunate souls, and how much worse off they are than we? Or are we looking at the truth? When we go into service, are we looking at the condition or are we looking at the truth? Because that makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. If we are focused on the condition, if we're seeing these poor, unfortunate souls in need of our help, that's not blessing the people that we're serving. If we're going to rush in there and kind of try to be the heroes there, we're helping these poor, unfortunate souls. What Anne Lamott said about help, I love this. Her quote is, "Help is the sunny side of control." Yeah, there you go. Help is the sunny side of control, right? So when we are going in helping, we're coming from that consciousness of better than, of separate from. We're helping these poor, unfortunate souls, and that very idea in our consciousness is the curse. That is the curse that holds people in place, holds people in their condition. We're cursing them to their condition. We're seeing them as their condition. We are creating the very sense of separation that we're going in there to try to eliminate. Because I'm not that. They're them. They got a problem. I'm good, Ephesians 4:29 said this. I love this. I'm getting all biblical on you today. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Say the best about people. Say the truth about people. Don't get swayed by their condition. Don't be fooled by their condition. Know the truth. Whenever we're in a service situation, we hold and we know the truth for people. If we're busy pitying people, feeling sorry for those poor things, we are not seeing the truth of them. We come here every week and we say, within us is that seed of perfection nestled within. We are spirit. We lack nothing. We are whole, perfect, and complete. Well, guess what? So is everybody. So is everybody. And even the ones whose conditions are outpicturing less than that, we still have to stand in the truth of that. Well, the condition sucks, but the truth of them is the same as the truth for me. We have to serve in joy. We have to serve in that celebration of there is only one of us. We hold people to their conditions. We do not see their wholeness. We hold people in their conditions. We do not see their wholeness. So only thoughts, only words, only actions of the wholeness of everyone. We would uplift them and us simply by knowing the truth for them. We know the truth in all situations, regardless of the condition. I remember when I was a child, I used to listen to, every once in a while, I used to listen to Reverend Ike on AM radio. Anybody listen to Reverend Ike years ago? Okay. He was just a hoot. I loved him. He was so dear. But I remember one of the things he said was, you want to serve the poor, you want to help the poor. There's one way you can help the poor. Don't be one of them. And it was like, I thought it was very funny. But he went on from there to talk about the consciousness of it. The consciousness of it. Don't pity and don't feel sorry for, but know the truth of people. Know the truth of them. That is the most uplifting act of service that we can do, first and foremost. Don't see lack, see abundance. Don't see the hatred, see only love. Don't see the struggle, see the abundance or the prosperity. It is our job to see everyone as the divine outpicturing. That's all we are. We're the divine outpicturing. We're just like in separate bodies. We just chose this body this time. But it's still spirit. It's still spirit. It's still spirit. Look around the room. It's only spirit. That's all there is. Ernest Holmes said, it's generally accepted that some form of useful service to humanity, perhaps helping others, is one of the best possible ways of seeking permanent happiness. Serving others, one of the best possible ways of seeking permanent happiness. So we abstain from cursing. That's the whole idea in the Bible of blessing and cursing. So we curse people when we are only looking at their condition. When we only see the surface, oh, that poor thing, oh, the poor unfortunate soul. My God, we hold them to their condition by doing that. We curse them into their poverty, into their lack, into their sadness, into their illness. We associate them with that, and we hold them in that. Each time we see another as less than, we are indulging in separation. We're indulging in the separation. So it's incumbent upon us to see the truth all the time. We have to bless. We have to see the wholeness of everyone. Even those in need, we can say that, even those in need, because that is a condition. But we can know their wholeness. We cannot be of two minds in this teaching. We can't be an us and them. We can't have that idea of separation and then come here on Sundays and say God's all there is. If God's all there is no separation. There is no separation. In James 3:9, therewith bless we the Lord, and therewith curse we men who are made after the likeness of spirit. Out of the same mouth comes forth a blessing and a cursing. My brothers, these things ought not to be. Does the fountain send forth the same opening, sweet water and bitter? We cannot say God is all there is and God is all good. Oh, but that guy? No, he sucks. It's not the truth of us. It's not the truth of us. And we have to recognize. Go past the condition, see the wholeness. Go past the condition, whatever the condition is, and see the wholeness. We cannot say we love spirit but condemn fellow humans, or pity them, or think that they're less than or different. We have a choice. I mean, we can criticize all we want. We are at choice. We can criticize and condemn all we want, but it will come back and bite us on the ass. I'm sorry, on the bottom. It will come back and bite us somewhere. Psalms said this. It says, yeah, and I love this, and this is why we shouldn't do that. This is why we shouldn't bless and curse, because in Psalms 109 it says this, yea, he loved cursing, and it came unto him, and he delighted not in blessing, and so it was far from him. What does that mean? We know what that means. We know in religious science what that means. We curse others, it comes back on us, right? We bless others, it comes back on us. Things come home to roost, karma works, we are in that cycle of eternal return. What we send out, we get back. We know that. What we concentrate on, what we send our attention to, where we invest our energy in, that's what grows. So if we're busy criticizing or condemning or pitying or feeling poor, sorry for poor, then we get more of that to experience. If we know wholeness in people, if we know their perfection, regardless of the condition, regardless of what it looks like, we know them as whole, perfect, and complete. We know them as emissaries of spirit. We know them as spirit having a good time in a body. Then that comes back to bless us. What we do to others comes back to us. When we serve others, we serve ourselves. When we condemn others, we condemn ourselves. This is the gift of service. We come to find out that when we're serving others, we are serving ourselves. When we serve others, when we bless others, we find we are blessing ourselves. That is the gift of service. Rabindranath Tagore said this, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. And there was a wonderful article written in the Christian Science Monitor, I think. Nipun Mehta wrote this article, 5 Reasons to Serve Others. And I really loved it. And he said, number 1, serve to discover abundance. What an interesting concept that is. Serve to discover abundance. We shift from the me consciousness to the we consciousness when we serve others. And we begin to see how much we can do. We create and grow an abundance mentality, abundance consciousness when we serve others, because we begin to see how much we can give. And not only in dollars, but in time, in resources, in talent, in know-how. We can create things, we can do things. When we begin to serve others, we realize, we recognize the abundance, the true abundance we have in our lives. The things that we can get out there and put into circulation. We serve to discover abundance. What an awesome, awesome way to do that. By serving, we realize how much we have. And he said, number 2, serve to express gratitude. Serve to express gratitude. Being grateful for all we have and all we can do and all we can think. That is a wonderful thing. Mother Teresa said, right, we can do no great things, only small things with great love. And so that's number 2, serve to express gratitude. I am so grateful I can even do this thing that I can do, and I do it for the world. People who go out to homeless shelters and serve food, or people who donate websites to nonprofits because they can't afford it. People who take their time and their talent and their know-how and they gift it to those people, places, and things that can benefit. That's a huge sense of gratitude, isn't it? I've got a gift, I've got a talent that I can share with the world. Serve to express gratitude. We always have something to give. We always have something to give. And when we start serving, we understand just how much that is and how blessed we are to be able to give what we give. And he said, number 3, serve to transform ourselves. Don't you love that one? Serve to transform ourselves. Serving makes us happy. Have you noticed? No matter where we are in our lives, I mean, particularly when we're down or blue or feeling lonely or whatever, go serve. It makes us feel better. Even if it's a smile, even if it's holding the door for someone, it makes us feel good, doesn't it? It just uplifts when we can do something for someone. Help carry groceries to somebody's car. Anything, any act of service that we do, it just lightens us a little. It just lightens us up. It transforms us. It does. Service transforms us. And number 4, serve to honor our interconnectedness. What an awesome thing that is. Serve to honor our interconnectedness, to make us aware that when I'm serving you, I'm serving myself. When I am in service to anyone, I am serving myself. It makes us aware of the interconnectedness of all life. The internet. We are all, Reverend Kathy talked about it last week, right? Intranet, we're all connected. We're all these brilliant jewels on Intranet. We are all interconnected. So when we are serving the greater. We're serving that part of ourselves that's connected to everything. Serve. It's just amazing, that interconnectedness of all life. Rachel Naomi Remen put it this way. I love this quote. She said, "When you help, you see life as weak. When you fix, you see life as broken. When you serve, you see life as whole." And that's what we're talking about. Seeing life as whole and contributing to that and knowing our oneness. Just being part of this whole big party we are calling humanity. And number 5, serve to align with a natural unfolding. And this is bigger than us, this natural unfolding. Serve so that we can align with the natural unfolding. You have no idea how far the good that you do today in service is going to go. You have no idea, like throwing the pebble in the pond. You have no idea how far those ripples are going to go. You do good today, you do service today, you have no idea how far and how wide those ripples are going to spread, and through how many years. When you serve today, you don't know what you have done years and years and years from now. They say, if you want a good, if you want a good year, plant rice. If you want a good lifetime, plant trees. If you want a good world, educate children. That's what we're talking about. You don't know what the good that you do does in the long run, in the wider circle of all humanity. The impact that we have in serving today and where that's going to go and how that's going to bless the people we serve, but how it's going to bless the people that we serve and then those people, and how those people are then going to transform and serve others, and how that's going to ripple out over the community, over the years, and transform the world. because that's really what we're doing by service, is we're transforming the world. Maybe our little piece of it, maybe our little corner of it, maybe we never get to know how far and how wide those ripples extended. But we know that we're doing it. We know that we're changing the world. Ernest Holmes said this. He said, "Law of life is the law of thought, an activity of consciousness. The power flows through us. Spirit can do for us only what it can do through us. Unless we are able to provide the consciousness, it cannot make the gift. The power behind all things is without limit. But in working for us, it must work through us." And for me, that's what service is all about. Allowing Spirit to work through us. Allowing Spirit to show up and taking the reins off and allowing Spirit to run wild and naked through our lives. and being that clear vessel through which Spirit can act unrestrained and serve and change the world by our presence in it. That's what we're here to do. We're here to uplift, to recognize all life is the life of God's. All life is the life of God's. And when we serve God in all of its forms, animal and mineral and human. We just serve God wherever we go, whatever good we do, we are serving Spirit in all of its forms. So you going to join me with that? Thank you so much.